So Suzanne, you are working on something very special right now. So show people what is that in front of you, or what is it going to be?
I want to make sure it's right at the spot where where I'll pick up when I get back
Well,
to
tell
it.
people what you're working on. People want to know. Look at this. This is beautiful. Silver.
I'm sure many people know that the character I'm most famous for doing is TV cartoon superhero Underdog. Well, this is a very special costume. It's part of a very special costume he'll be wearing next year because he originated in 1964, which means that 2024 marks his 60th anniversary.
And is silver 60? Like, is that related? Is the silver color or material related to
It's iridescent silver. If you can see any of these rainbow-like streaks in it, that's how a brilliant diamond is supposed to sparkle.
Mm-hmm.
The 60th anniversary is symbolized by diamonds. When this costume is finished, it'll have an abundance of sewn-on diamonds.
Well, this material is very flexible. It's a little stretchy material. Right?
Yes, it does stretch. Well, the red cloth that I'm making the tunic out of, it's shiny, but it doesn't stretch.
And you told me that this box contains pearls, right?
Yeah, sew on pearls. Now, if you look at this, see, there's some kind of sketch in here. I design motifs, which I then pin onto the garment where it's supposed to go, and here I stitched lace around the edge. More lace to make loop-the-loops, tear the paper away when the motif is completed. Now,
And these sequins, right? What do you call this sequence? The pattern?
yeah, those are sequins. See, I said I make a motif, a drawing. Yeah, here's what I haven't started yet. I made the motif, I pinned it in position, and then all the other identical motifs, I sewed sequins one by one to the cloth onto the lines, and then when the motif is all finished, I tear away the paper.
That's really cool. So when is the actual event where you're going to be wearing this when it's finished?
In any calendar year, I make a number of appearances. Sometimes the nature of the date or the event determines how I'm going to be dressed. Well, I hope to appear as Underdog as frequently as I can in 2024, and then when I do, there should be enough advance publicity so that people know that it's his 60th anniversary, and I'd be wearing this.
How long does this will this have taken you when you're done?
How long?
How long do you think it takes for you to make this?
You mean how long does it take for me to make a particular any costume at all?
If it's similar or just this one.
I started on this one on New Year's Day, 2023. It'll probably take the rest of the year to get it ready, so that when I'm in the Philadelphia Mummers Parade on New Year's Day, 2024, there's Underdog in his 60th anniversary all set.
So what, besides the Mummers Day, do you have any other parades in mind? Like, where would you like to showcase the outfit 2024?
Well, the ones I normally appear in are a St. Patrick's Parade in Wilmington, Delaware. I'm going to have to write to the people in charge to see if they'll allow me to do something other than my usual character, Irish Cinderella, because in all the years I've been in that parade, I see a great many entries wearing colors other than the Irish ones. You figure that your professional string band, marching band, whether it's a professional or just a school band, always wears uniforms for the occasion, and the uniforms never change in either style or color. And there's also the Doodah Parade in Ocean City. That's in mid-April. Then would be a Memorial Day parade in Falls Church, Virginia. There, I got a pearl on.
Ah, there you go. That's very cool. Nice. Now, did you possibly want to do a mermaid parade again, or no?
What?
Mermaid parade in Coney Island, or you don't want to do that? Mermaid parade in Coney Island.
Oh yeah. I used to be in Coney Island's Mermaid Parade, but I stopped being in it because at least half the entrants were immodestly dressed when it was supposed to be a family-friendly affair. But I might go back one last time in 2024 as Underdog, because even when I would be dressed as a mermaid, they would still, the MC and many of the spectators would still call out, "Hey, Underdog!" So, and I could win a prize for the costume.
Well, it would be nice, since you're going to put so much work into making it, why not showcase it as much as possible?
Well, that's why I want to appear as Underdog as frequently as possible in 2024, and in events in addition to parades. You figure that when the day comes that marks exactly 60 years, there should be some big scale bonanza, extravaganza, honoring Underdog on his 60th birthday.
Now, when you make a costume for a specific anniversary, do you only wear it that year and never again?
One time when Ocean City was having its 25th edition of an event they called the Hermit Crab Races. It's 25th edition, and I appeared as Shelley, the South Jersey Shore mermaid. The gown is turquoise, but I wore the silver cape that I had worn for Underdog's 25th anniversary. So sometimes I do reuse the garments or just parts of them.
Because it would be a shame, because you make them, they're so beautiful, but you only use them for that one occasion, and you never see them again. Because I know that's another silver cape, the 25th anniversary. Okay, what else do you want to mention about the outfit you're working on?
The what?
What else would you like to mention about the costume you're making on?
I said
everything.
I said this is part of the cape for TV cartoon superhero Underdog's 60th anniversary, the diamond anniversary.
Okay. Now, would you say the Underdog was your favorite show of all time, television show?
I don't know if it's being rerun now, and it pains me to watch the original reruns because there were so many programmatic flaws.
Like what?
Well, the stories just weren't believable, and Underdog and sometimes his girlfriend Polly would get into trouble too easily at the hands of an adversary, or Underdog himself would barely rescue himself from a dire situation.
Okay, but would you say that's your favorite television show of all time, or no? Is that your favorite TV show of all time?
My favorite?
Yes.
No, I wouldn't say that.
No. What's your favorite?
Well, fortunately, one cable TV station reruns it every day, and the stories are much realistic. They're much more realistic. They're comic, but the characters in them are down to earth and easily believable. Dennis the Menace.
Oh, okay. So you would say Dennis the Menace is your favorite TV show?
Yeah.
And what would be the second favorite?
I can't think of it, but since Underdog's been a character I've been doing for decades, I feel people should resurrect an interest in them and congratulate me for making him a more meritorious role model than he ever was in the cartoons.
Okay, so would Underdog and Star Trek be in your top 5 or no?
Top 5?
Top 5 favorite TV shows. Like if somebody said if you had to pick top 5, would Underdog or Star Trek or something? I know you like those.
Yeah.
What can you give us a couple other that you like?
There's Time Tunnel.
Oh, okay. I remember that's old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. That's an interesting show. And how about another one?
Yeah, well, there you have a whole lot of complex devices. It's not instantaneous with no equipment the way it is with Scrooge and the ghosts in Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol.
Did you ever like Doctor Who or no?
I watched it for a while because creation conventions would sometimes hold Doctor Who conventions, and I wanted to dance or to model costumes, and the director of the company said you've got to stick to titles for which there's an endless market, and very few of the Doctor Who stories were that interesting to me. But there were some interesting costumes. But then they dropped my participation in those conventions.
Yeah, I think Alex said that. Did you have a question about the shows?
I can't think of it.
Could you have ever seen me at one of these science fiction conventions in which I made a featured appearance?
I don't think so. I've only recently been going to science fiction conventions, so I might not have. I definitely think I would remember you and any outfits that you would have if I'd seen you.
What is the last one that you appeared at? What's the last time you were at a science fiction convention?
Well, it really wasn't science fiction. You don't think of the character as being science fiction, but the last time I was at a convention was in 1997 when there was a centennial celebration of the novel Dracula.
Oh, okay.
And that was the only time I ever performed my number and modeled the costumes in the presences of the historians who had rediscovered his real story.
Right. McNally and Florescu.
McNally and Florescu, yes. Florescu was a lot friendlier than McNally.
Yes, very nice guy. So, should we wrap this up?
Yeah, I believe we had
Okay,
a
so we have a special guest. Special
Oh
guest.
yes,
Yeah, special
I have a
guest, say
very
goodbye.
special bedside companion.
So I think you want to move her in a little bit. There you go. And you want to tell people who this is?
This is Midnight. She's always right on my pillow when I go to bed, and I press her up against me like this. In 2019, I was in the Mummers Parade as Catwoman, and I took Midnight with me so that she could wave to the spectators. Watch. Come on. Wave. See, I move my index finger back and forth underneath her paw so that the paw appears to be moving normally.
Did the spectators enjoy waving back?
Yeah.
All right. Well, goodbye, Midnight, or should I say good night, Midnight? All right. Thank you, Suzanne.
Oh, such fun.